Well, thank you everybody for joining this call to hear more about Cape Cod and the islands. I'm Karen Wright. I'm the point of contact for OLLI-USF for this tour. And I want to say that this is the 4th Premier World Discovery Tour we've done in 4 years. And these tours have been well received by our members, partly because they are well organized. They provide good back office support as far as making the reservation, great customer service if you have a problem, and they answer the questions that you might have very quickly. So this tour was of particular interest to me, and it's been well received from our members because you spend 5 nights in the same hotel. Yeah. And on our other tours that we've done, I think a lot of members like the fact that they only have to unpack their bags once and they come back to the same room several nights in a row. Mm-hmm. So, and these tours are so much fun when we get many OLLI members together to spend time together. And the Premier World Discovery Tours offer a great blend of history, sightseeing, and they also allow leisure time, which is really important. So you're not feeling rushed. So I'm here to turn this over to Amanda Spear, who is the Regional Development Manager for Premier World Discovery for the East Coast. And she is going to tell you all about this tour and answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy New Year, I guess. I think it's still okay to say that. I haven't seen any of your faces. So Happy New Year. I hope your year has started off right. And very excited to bring this tour to you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, but I'm going to stop my video just because I feel like it helps with the streaming of the PowerPoint. And let me do this. Hopefully everyone is seeing the beautiful pictures of Cape Cod and the lighthouse.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. It's always good to know that it's working. Well, all right. So I will begin. Thank you again. My name is Amanda Spear. As Karen introduced me, I am coming to you from a very gloomy, cool, rainy day in Raleigh, North Carolina. So excited to come and talk about a destination that is probably one of our top sellers domestically for many reasons that Karen mentioned. One, I think the limited hotel stay is always popular, but as well as this is just really a unique area of the United States. So again, the date is June 8th, so about 6 months from now. For those of you that aren't familiar with Premier, a little bit about us. We've been in business since 1999. We're based out of Redondo Beach, California. So that's where our headquarters are, our reservations agents and so forth. I'm coming to you from the East. I work with the East reps and so forth, but we're a little unique in the fact that we work directly with our groups and organizations across the United States. And really all that means for you is that it's just that we partner directly with our lifelong learning groups, our OLLI groups, alumni, associations, etc. You're not going to be bombarded with emails or junk mail or solicitations and things like that. We partner directly with our groups, and that is kind of all we do. We've been in business again for 24 years. These are just some of our memberships and associations. Very proud to be part of USTOA, which is basically kind of like what FICA is to a bank. It just means that you're traveling with a very financially vetted company. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, part of ABA and ASTA and so forth, all the travel associations. We move 10,000 passengers every year. We go all over the world, whether it be Africa, river cruises, Australia, North America, etc. So we cover the world. Here's just our outside sales team on the left. This is us. Actually, this summer we headed out to California to see our new office. This is that, and then we did like a little weekend cruise. So this is on the cruise ship. So this is our outside team, and then we have our inside team, which again takes care of when you make a reservation. If you want to go early, stay late, perhaps you have specific dietary needs, etc. They're there to take care of that. And then we have our outside team that we kind of all partner together to whether, you know, I think why many groups like us is if there's, you know, just 10 of you going, you don't need to worry about having to cancel the tour because they're a blended departure date. So you'll meet folks from other places across the United States, which it's just always good to know. And then again, there's our, that was from just a river cruise. Very all-inclusive experience. I believe on Cape Cod, real quick, there are no optional tours on this date. So everything very all-inclusive. So on the flyer, which I believe you can find on the OLLI page, Karen will explain where how to find that. But basically, when you see the flyer, it includes the air price out of Tampa. We can fly you out of whatever gateway you prefer. Perhaps you have friends or family joining you. If they have a preferred gateway, we certainly can fly them from that. They would just meet you in Boston. And for those, every now and then we have someone that prefers, they maybe worked and have a gazillion, you know, airline miles and want to do their own air. You can contact our office and we can do that as well. But we know on the majority, our travelers still prefer to have it all packaged in, so they don't need to worry about having to deal with that. The hotel, your sightseeing, breakfast every morning, handful of welcome and farewell dinner, and very enriching. So very much try to make it an all-inclusive, enjoyable experience. So here, we'll fly into Boston. And I just have to minimize this here so I can see my slides, what's showing. There we go. Here you shows the hotels. Will fly into Boston for a one-night stay, and then we'll make our way to Cape Cod for 5 nights in Hyannis. And again, just a beautiful area of the United States. Cape Cod is a geographic cape and peninsula that juts out of the Atlantic Ocean. And of course, it is breathtaking. A lot of history here. It's very historic, maritime character and beaches, and make it an ideal place to go in the summer. So again, here we use one night in Boston. We use a couple different properties, but we always use first-class properties, the Hyatt Place, the Le Méridien, and then 5 nights at the Cape, either at the DoubleTree or the Marriott or Holiday Inn. Breakfast, again, as I mentioned, is included. There'll be 6 breakfasts included every morning, and you'll have 3 dinners. Lots of seafood. If you're a seafood lover, I know you're down in Florida, so you probably get great seafood, but extra seafood here, whether you love chowder or lobster, plenty of fantastic seafood to be had. So you will fly into Boston, one of the nation's oldest cities, founded by the Puritans in 1630. So you'll head down to the luggage area, and this is where you'll meet your guide. I think we have some of the best guides in the industry. Not only do they do a great job of taking care of making sure the itinerary runs as it should, I just think they also just, you know, part of the benefit of traveling in a group is just all those moments and experiences where you get to travel. You don't have to worry about navigating the highways, figuring out where to go, paying for tickets and things like that. They just get, and you get to sit back and just immerse yourself in the history, in the beauty, in the scenery, and just truly relax and have a immersive experience. So here we'll welcome you into Boston. And again, a great city, where we'll check into one of the properties we use. Here's just some shots of them. Again, very comfortable accommodations for our one-night stay. And then that next morning, we're going to do the Boston City Tour. And here, Boston is known as one of the most walkable cities. So much to do and see. Just a beautiful, beautiful town and lots to explore. We'll see Boston's Common. This is home to one of the oldest public parks that dates back to 1634. Of course, in June, it will have beautiful green colors. These pictures were taken in the fall. But again, just great architecture and the history of the U.S. Boston Commons, the old State House. This was built in 1713 on the site of the first town hall. It was one of the oldest surviving public buildings in Boston, and it served as a meeting place for the exchange of economic and local news, and was said to be the center of politics in the colonies. Here's the Old North Church. This is the site that launched the American Revolution. Built in 1723, Boston's oldest church is best known for that midnight ride of Paul Revere, one of by land, two of by sea. So great American history here. The Old South Meeting House. Beacon Hill. Beacon Hill is a very historic area. It still has the cobblestone streets and the gaslit kind of lights. Now it is a very expensive area to live, very trendy, and just a very beautiful, popular area in Boston, with history oozing out of the buildings. Then we'll visit Old Ironside. This was authorized for construction by the Naval Act of 1794 and launched in 1797. She was named by President George Washington after the Constitution of the United States of America. She is the world's oldest commissioned naval vessel that is afloat. Faneuil Hall Marketplace. This is truly the cradle of liberty. This is adjacent to Quincy Market, just kind of, it was built as a meeting hall and theater in 1742, but now has all kinds of restaurants, boutiques, and produce and entertainment. There's always something going on, so kind of a neat way to explore. So after a great tour in Boston, we're going to head up towards the Cape as we make our way. We'll depart later for Plymouth Plantation. And this is kind of unique. This is a living history museum that reenacts the life of the first settlers' village in the 17th century. Each person you encounter will give you information about the task he or she is performing, and the guides are always happy to answer questions of what it was like to be a pilgrim. Obviously it was very challenging times, whether it was political or religious belief, the winters being so severe when the pilgrims landed and the lack of supplies. Many died. More than half of the 102 pilgrims who landed here did not live due to just being starving and cold and exposure. So we'll learn all about that. We'll see the actual Mayflower too, the recreation of that. Again, most people are surprised at how small this actually is. Plymouth Rock, the landing of the Pilgrim. And then we'll arrive in Cape Cod. Again, the fantastic Cape with just this Atlantic Ocean and so forth, just breathtaking, as we'll start getting the scenic beauty of the seaside towns and just the coastal beauty as we'll check in to our hotel where we get to stay for the next 5 nights. Here is the DoubleTree. And again, all 4-star first-class properties, very quaint hotels. If any of you have been on the sea, I know here in the Outer Banks and things like that, very coastal in feel, very cozy properties. That second night after a great day of touring is actually when we're going to have our welcome dinner. Once everyone arrives and we've had a great day of touring, we're going to, celebrate our first day and spend some more time with getting to know your fellow travelers and your tour director. That next day, then, we're going to head to Martha's Vineyard. And this island has long been known just for its dangerous tides, its rocky shores, and making the need for lighthouses necessary. But we're going to take a ferry ride here. And Martha's Vineyard was created by glacier action over 10,000 years ago. Obviously known as a very popular summer colony. It is only accessible by boat and air, and it used to be kind of, and still is, a place where kind of the wealthy and affluent go, but its tourism has grown considerably since 1960. So we'll take the ferry on over to Martha's Vineyard. Here's the Victorian cottages. Again, just these really unique, beautiful little Oak Bluff is the area, these very kind of cute Victorian cottages. Edgartown is known as for its history, for its historic streets. They once lined the sea captain houses on main streets, and it is known to have one of the prettiest towns, and the main street is considered to be very quintessential New England. Each village of the Martha's Vineyard has its own character, unique shops and restaurants. Here's all the sea captains' houses, very stately homes. And of course, the spectacular lighthouses and beautiful harbors of Martha's Vineyard. Cape Cod National Seashore, again, just a very scenic drive around the island. Breathtaking views of the rocky shore. It's made up of 28,000 acres and stretches along the coast for 40 miles. And if you're a photographer or a lover of lighthouses, you will learn all about the lighthouses. We'll visit Provincetown. Again, Provincetown is a community that sits at the very tip of the Cape, and it's known just for its eclectic community, very much artsy, funky, kind of distinguished art colony. The Pilgrims Monument to commemorate the first anchoring point of the Pilgrims. So everyone loves Provincetown, just a beautiful seaside town with a lot of energy. We're going to do an agricultural stop. Here we're going to learn about the cranberries and how they harvest them as we'll visit the cranberry bog. People really enjoy that. And then that next day, we're going to visit Newport, Rhode Island. Again, Newport filled with galleries, restaurants, shopping, the old mansions of Newport. It is one of New England's most treasured coastal cities and very longtime favorite vacation site of socialites and yachting enthusiasts. It was settled in 1639. It was an important shipbuilding center, and it is still known for its yachting as the yachting capital of the East. All kinds of great restaurants and shops along the water. It also has the synagogue here, which is one of the oldest. The charming downtown area. International Hall of Tennis. And of course, one of the most important events in Newport is the America's Cup Champion Race from Newport to Australia. Bellevue Avenue, this is where they have the famous mansions. The Breakers Mansion is the most extravagant of the mansions on Bellevue Avenue, and it was built in 1895. This was a Vanderbilt mansion, and again, it was just a small 70-room quote-unquote cottage. That was the summer home of Cornelius Vanderbilt. So amazing to kind of see the wealth and the opulence of the Vanderbilt family and just a little piece of history there. We'll do a 10-mile drive of Newport. This takes you along the coastline cliffs and by the estates that were built in the early 1900s. See the beautiful properties along the ocean edge. And the beautiful lighthouses. That next day, we're going to take another ferry as we ferry to Nantucket. Nantucket was established in 1659 when a group of colonists who were seeking religious and political freedom purchased the island from the Indians for 30 British pounds and 2 beaver skins. So Nantucket is a town, a county, and an island. It's about 48 square miles. And its population is about 17,000 year-round. That obviously goes up in the summer months. And the downtown area is where the ship will disembark, and there's all kinds of beautiful little quaint shops and historic buildings. Lovely little town. Nantucket actually desegregated their schools in 1845, nearly 100 years before the rest of the nation. There is not one stoplight on the island. So just a charming little place to explore. The Whaling Museum. It was once the whaling capital of the world in the 1700s, but then of course that failed or was no longer. During the whaling days, Nantucket was the third largest city in Massachusetts. And then after whaling, the island went into huge economic depression that took a long time, over 100 years, before the economy again was revitalized by tourism and vacationers. But here at the Whaling Museum, you'll learn about these amazing creatures and just its significance to Nantucket. The history of the whaling industry on the island, and of course, the famous lighthouses of Nantucket. That evening is our farewell meal. We're going to have a true New England lobster dinner. Don't worry, if you don't like lobster, we'll find you something else. But I'm sure someone would eat your lobster. But here, a great lobster dinner as we celebrate our Cape Cod tour. And then that next day, bags are out and we'll make our way back down to Boston with all kinds of beautiful memories of our Cape Cod tour. So again, here is the date, June 8th. The price is $31.99. And then if you make final payment by check, you save $100. So it'd be $30.99. This is what I was talking about. So your deposit can be done, and insurance can be done with credit card, but to save that $100, you need to make that final payment by check. Here's everything that's included. So your airfare, your 9 meals, your touring, your hotel, and so forth. What's not included, because basically I try to pull what's not, would be tips to your driver and guide. And then obviously if you check a bag at the airport, that's an airline fee, and then any meals that aren't on your own. Otherwise, very all-inclusive tour. Here again is the average highs in June, 74 and 77 in Boston. Very comfortable, as I know the June weather starts getting pretty hot compared to the Florida area. It is first come, first serve. It is a $400 deposit that holds your spot. And I do recommend travel insurance, whether you purchase ours or someone else's. It's just important to have your investment protected. Final payment is due 75 days prior. We are 6 months in, so I think we're inside of 180 days. But if, prior to the pandemic, if you would cancel before final payment, you would lose your deposit. We still have our pandemic or post-pandemic policies. So you won't lose your deposit if you cancel by final payment, but it would come back to you as a travel credit. If you purchased the insurance, that does come back. That is returned to you. And those are good for 12 months. To sign up, there's the reservation form on the back, and you can go online and enter the booking number. You can call our office direct. The most important thing is just that we get your legal name as it is on your driver's license exactly, because that's how we ticket the air tickets. So we need to, I usually ask everyone to pull out their driver's license and just make sure they're writing exactly as it is on their driver's license. So again, you can go online, you can call our office. Those numbers are all listed on the back of the flyer. And those are how you can sign up. Again, we do have that TPP, trip protection plan, that will cover you for cancellation as well as while on your tour for any kind of delays, baggage, and emergency services. This they just put in there. I think hopefully in 25 it will happen, but eventually to fly domestically, you will need the real ID or your passport to travel. So they say The deadline for that is May 7th. If you have traveled with us before, you will be part of our Compass Club. And so you will have a credit of $100, a loyalty credit that's good from 24 months from your last tour or departure. So if you have traveled with us, you can go ahead and just note that, or just make sure usually they put it on the invoice, but if you don't see it, you might have to say, hey, I was traveling, I get a credit. So thank you. That is my presentation.